Today on the Tech Your Business podcast, we'll be talking something we've not really talked about, which is telehealth. And to talk about that with us is DJ Van de Venter. He's a digital marketer who is now in the health space, the online health space. So he's going to share a lot of share his projects, share things he has done, share some tips and different things. So we're just going to have a very great conversation. And if you're on video, you can see some raindrops on me. I just ran out to close my car door because it just started raining suddenly. So welcome to the show, DJ.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So can you just tell us a bit about yourself? Tell us a bit about what you do.
Absolutely. So, right now, what I mainly do, I work full time for Dr. Telix, like you said, in telehealth. And it's only been up and running for maybe 8 months now. It's still fairly new, but we're taking off quicker than we anticipated. So, essentially, to explain what Dr. Telix is, it's a doctor's network. So, I hired probably 12, 15 doctors now, and we have our doctors do consults and prescriptions for other companies all through telehealth. So they live all over the US. They work with specific companies for specific medications. They talk to patients. That's pretty much it. And we run all the administration and the work on the back end. So that's
Interesting.
really what I'm doing right now. Other than that, I'm getting a recovery program business up and running as well. So that way people can feel better direct to consumer and our doctors can help people feel better in the other way. So there you go.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So I think two different ways using the internet, using technology to get healthcare to the end users.
Yes, absolutely. That's the idea.
Right. Right. So what inspired what made you change transition from digital marketing into this online healthcare space?
So, as far as my story kind of goes there, I started digital marketing as my first business about 4 years ago, roughly.
Hmm.
And I jumped into digital marketing because it was marketed to me, obviously, as every course is nowadays on TikTok and
Yeah.
Instagram and everything else. We've all seen them. So I've always had an interest in marketing because every business needs marketing in some way, shape, or form. So I figured it'd be a cool skill to learn to jump into business, which was something that was brand new to me. So I did maybe a year or two of digital marketing with my own business and, made some money, but mostly learned a lot about everything from paid ads to growing social medias to, I'm sure you know plenty about just how expansive you can get into when it comes to
Yeah.
digital marketing in the online space. So what I realized though early on in my business, well, I say early on, a year or two into my business, was that I could do the marketing pretty well. I could not close deals very well, which is why I jumped into a sales job that was just high
Hmm.
ticket sales. That's all you do is close remodeling jobs. So anything from
Hmm.
10,000 to $110,000 jobs,
Yeah.
and did that, put a ton of time into it full time, completely stopped the digital marketing because I wanted to get better at sales. And the two skills work together to compound. And apparently, sales and marketing are something that a lot of people want. So, started working for this telehealth company, selling pharmaceuticals, selling medications, and just the network I built there has led me to now be the main person running Dr. Telix, I would say.
Wow, 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 nice. And I think that's one thing I always tell people that the main skill you need to build when you're starting a business or anything is actually how to sell. Not even in business, in life generally, just how to sell.
Yeah,
When you can sell, you
absolutely.
can do anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I love sales because it applies to every aspect of life. Absolutely.
True. Okay, so now using Dr. Tell X as an example, so what was the key problem? What was the key thing that the team saw that led to the creation of this solution of Dr. Tell X?
So Dr. Telix was actually created before I even knew anything about it. Um, I was working for a different company at that time.
Yeah.
So long story short, the other company that I was working for, a medical company, they worked with a doctor's network platform that focused more on the technology side of it, more than the business side, the customer service side. making clients happy, making the doctors happy,
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. They just focused on the technology, and that was it. Um, and that's just from what I've heard mainly. Of course, I don't like to speak poorly of anyone. I don't have all the details, of course, but so what we did with Dr. Telix is when we got it up and running, we got the platform built out. We tried to build we tried to build it in a way that took all the good that we've learned and the people in the network have learned for Dr. Telix and leave all the bad behind from what we've
Hmm.
experienced with these other doctors' networks. So it's been really cool to see because working with all the doctors, I've got a good relationship with all of them. They're very happy with how everything works, how the platform is, and same thing for all of our clients right now. They're happy with us, and it can only go up from here unless we make some
Yeah.
horrible mistakes. So.
That's actually very normal. So now, you talked about starting sales, your first sales job in the remodeling company, and now
Mhm.
you're in healthcare. So now, how different is selling or marketing in healthcare compared to these other industries?
Very, very different for definitely a number of ways. Um, I don't know if you have a lot of experience in the health industry versus
No,
every
no,
other
no,
industry, but so have you ever heard of legit script certification? Is that something you're
no,
familiar with?
no.
Okay, so it's definitely something that's not well known unless you're in deep into digital marketing or in specifically marketing for medications.
Yeah.
So in order to do any form of paid ads for medications, at least through telehealth, you need an online certification that is very difficult to obtain.
Wow.
Otherwise, you can't do that at all. So, and it's one of those things where as soon as you get it, you put it on your website, and that's that's your blue verification mark on social media. That's pretty
Hmm.
much what that is. You got the green light, you're good to go. But so before I started working with Dr. Telix, I was doing marketing for the medical company previously. So I've been able to really dive into like the B2B side of it for Dr. Telix
Yeah.
as well as the B2C side on the direct to consumer for the medications. And it's very different because it's easier and harder in terms of finding your target audience, finding who to market to versus when I was doing digital marketing originally at the very beginning, it was mainly focused on online education, which there really isn't a target audience, depending on what you're selling the course, of
Yes.
course. Um, but I was just selling an online course for digital marketing at that time. And that's a pretty broad range of people. Whereas, when it comes to medications, doctor's visits, it's also a wide range, but it's very different. I don't know if you get what I'm saying there, but you can still tailor it down a little bit more, which I think the more narrow you can be in terms of marketing, especially digital marketing, the more success you're going to have. So that's been my experience so far.
Nice. So now I'm looking at your profile. I can see you've built a really significant TikTok following. I think that's one of the marketing channels you're using. That's TikTok. So I
Mhm.
think what's your secret to growing on TikTok, and how is it going there?
So if I'm being 100% transparent, I haven't touched TikTok in who knows how long. Um, so the story there is when I got into marketing, I was more of a more of a homebody, you could say. What didn't put myself out there a lot. Wasn't a fan of social media. Just another guy behind the scenes. So when I got into digital marketing and learned all these tips and tricks for social medias, for creating content, that kind of thing, it's almost like you either put yourself out there and learn, or you don't, and you don't learn. So
True.
that applies to everything, of course. So at the time, which let me think, 4 years ago, that was around the time 2020, when COVID was still pretty new and TikTok was just blowing up at that time. So everyone in my network was just saying TikTok, TikTok. That's it. Just do as much as you can.
Yeah.
So I took what I learned from the digital marketing courses that I have taken, and really all I did is I try to simplify it because it's not too complex. But I made about 100 videos, planned on posting them 3 a day. So that's about a month's worth roughly.
Yeah.
Once I hit 100, that's when I just started posting 3 a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. every single day for a whole month, as well as continuing to create content. And I didn't know anything about how that would work, you know. So about 2 weeks into it, you know, just like anyone else who's done any kind of business venture,
Yeah.
I've got followers, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, you know, like I don't know, I put hours into this, but I remember specifically, like it was a weekend, a Saturday. I went to bed that night, woke up Sunday morning, and had 1,200 followers just like that, you know,
Wow.
just one video, and that's when I was like, there's something to this, you know. So um, my goal at the time was to get to 10,000 followers, and all I did was that exact same thing: find the videos that perform well, try to copy those or copy the style of those. So a lot of what I did at the time was like personal finance tips, side hustles, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I just posted a ton of content, tried to post at least 2 to 3 times a day, even when I was growing. And as soon as I hit 10,000, I moved on to other marketing ventures and, you know, other things. But it's one of those things that it's always a skill that I have. And now I know what it takes to grow a following to 10,000 fairly quickly. I mean, it only took maybe 6 months or so, 6 to 12 months.
Nice. And I think that's one thing too. So that means you're an introvert then from your description.
I would say it goes both ways. I don't like to label myself that necessarily, but you know, depends on the room, I guess.
Yeah, because I think from what you said earlier about putting yourself out there and learning from the experience, that's the same thing about me. 2 years ago, you won't see any video of me online. I hated being online. I hated even
Hmm.
starting businesses that would have me do videos. I'd rather not start it than do that.
Yes,
And yes.
100%.
But
I'm
now
with you.
I've started this podcast, I've started putting out videos, and I'm actually enjoying it. And it's crazy, actually. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
awesome.
It's
I,
crazy.
I think
And I think
everyone is an extrovert
yes.
when they figure out their own path. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think the second part of your answer, where you talked about actually putting what you learned from your digital marketing courses into practice, because that's something I've noticed a lot of times. People take courses and then they complain that these courses don't work, and when you ask, they tell you, oh, I didn't do it, or I just did it halfway and didn't do it. So doing 100 videos and
Exactly.
posting 3 days is actually a lot of work, and you can see that you actually got results because you actually
For
put
sure.
into practice. You didn't just learn; you put into practice. So I think that's those are two
Absolutely.
lessons. Yeah, two really
100%.
really big lessons too.
100%. And I think that's why, you know, there is the top 10% of people in every single course and
Yeah,
every single learning adventure, you know, like the 90% quit and then complain about it, whereas the 10% that stick with it see great results, and then the 90% is confused about it.
exactly. So now, in healthcare, we've talked about TikTok. So what since these telehealth, so what other
Mhm.
digital marketing strategies have you seen working in this healthcare sector?
So, as far as the last few months go with Dr. Telix specifically, that's something that's been different for me because B2B marketing is not something I have as much experience in compared to B2C marketing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can always grow social medias, but if you're looking for only healthcare business owners, it might not be the best way to go. So, um, but because of the knowledge I've gained with every type of digital marketing, you know, whether that's paid ads or building a social, I'm essentially doing a little bit of all of it. But we have, you know, campaigns on LinkedIn, we have email campaigns, a lot of skills I acquired from digital marketing as a whole, B2C. I've applied to B2B with Dr. Telix, and we have seen pretty good success with it so far. So it's been really interesting to see how I didn't think the skills would transfer over that much, but they definitely
Yeah.
do, you know, because you get familiar with running a campaign online and then you can do it the same way for a different industry, you know. So it's been interesting to see I'm more successful in this than I thought I would be. That's for sure.
True, true, and I think one of the things I've noticed about marketing, especially and sales, a lot of most of it actually is psychology. Is learning how to connect with other people, and once you know that,
For sure.
you'll be able to translate it into any industry. Just maybe a few tweaks, and you're good.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about matching the energy of whoever you're with, you know.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
Whatever type of person they are, if you can find a way to fit with them and connect with them, That's all it is. That's all it is,
True.
start to finish.
Very true. So now there's one thing that might come up when we talk about telehealth. That's with
Hmm.
this Dr. Telex and your other recovery program, and that's maintaining a personal touch, because a lot of people would like seeing a physical doctor because they have that person in front of them and they are communicating and all that.
Hmm.
But in your digital healthcare um, s- platforms,
Hmm.
you have the remote and online connection. So how do you maintain that personal touch or give people that feeling that they still have that connection?
I would say that's something that definitely applies to the doctors. Well, probably more than me, actually, is
Hmm.
that a lot of the patients that we work with, they've been taking the same medication for 5 years and they just want a refill. So what they do is, for those patients specifically, the doctors will just give them a call. Everything going good? You have any questions? Nope. Okay, sent over your refill again. Here you go.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else, I don't know if you're very familiar with like semaglutide or Ozempic or those types of weight
Oh
loss
yeah,
medications.
yeah.
Okay, so those are something that we do a ton of, or at least that type of medication, weight
Hmm.
loss GLP-1s. Um, Someone who has never really worked with it before, never used it, they might have a little more questions, need a little bit more help from the doctors.
Yeah.
So they'll give a call. I've never done injections before. I don't know how this stuff works. I know there's side effects. My friends have told me X, Y, and Z. They're all concerned, freaking out, which is completely understandable when it comes to, putting something new in your body. That's
Yeah.
just, I don't blame anyone for being precautious when it comes to that type of thing. So, whether it's a patient that's just getting a refill or it's a patient that has a lot of questions and needs their hand held along the way, the doctors can do that for both sides. And, I, you know, I make sure they get paid for it and they're happy with their job. And, it seems to be pretty good. And all the patients seem to be happy with the experience. So that's really all that matters at the end of the day, is just the patient experience, as well, slash forward slash the customer experience.
Yeah, yeah, true. Okay, so I think this platform works with traditional doctors delivering their diagnosis skills and everything remotely. So how do you is there any special way that you have to train them in order to fully embrace this remote platform, or adjustments they need to make?
So that's one thing I thought I would spend a little bit more time doing, if I'm being 100% honest, is training the doctors on the online platform.
Yeah,
Um, but something that I've come to learn is that, like you were saying, a lot of people like that in person doctor visits for a lot of
yeah,
reasons. And obviously, you should always have at least both. You always should have an in person doctor for specific emergencies and that type of thing. However, when it comes to the doctors that I've been interviewing and hiring over the last few months, I've noticed that I have some that only do telehealth and they, work with a few companies doing online consults. They're
yeah.
familiar with all sorts of online programs, it's not new to them. Whereas there's other people I've talked to in interviews and they don't know anything about how telehealth works. They've never done it before. They don't know what platform it is. So, if I'm being honest, most of the doctors we've hired, they have experience already. And I thought I would have to do a lot more hands-on training, but all
Yeah.
I've done is just like I've created a few walkthrough videos for them specifically. Most of the time when I hire on a new doctor, they watch the videos and then, an hour later they message me, send me consults, I'm ready, like it's fairly simple. The more simple you can make it for the doctor and the patient, that's really all it boils down to. As
Yeah.
long as the employees and the customers are happy, you're in business and you're good to go. Start growing.
Amazing. So now I think we've talked a lot about Dr. Telex. So tell us a bit about the recovery program you talked about previously, who it serves and what it does, and
Absolutely.
how it's going to be delivered here.
So, as far as the actual program itself, I can't give you too much health advice because I'm no
Yeah.
health expert. I just do the business side of it.
We need to do the
I
disclaimer
have
on
someone else.
that.
Yes, yes, exactly. Don't listen to any advice I give you about stretching or anything. Um, so I have a business partner that I work with, and she has plenty of years in this industry. She has done physical therapy work, has done personal training, nutrition, everything health related, and as well
Yeah.
as creating custom programs for individuals. So, something that we've talked about is there's plenty of platforms out there and websites out there that sell workout programs, just basic workout programs at home, body exercises. There's plenty of different ones. We have not been able to really find one that focuses more on the body recovery and the body movements so that you can feel better eventually in order to do those workouts that other
Hmm.
people are selling, or we will sell as well. So what we're trying to do is really make a statement in this industry, which is, hey, you can buy those workout programs, but you're going to be tired after 2 days because you don't know how to do it right necessarily. You're hurting yourself more in certain
Yeah.
ways because of, everyone has a human body that's got some issues, at least for the most part. There are the few health freaks out there that don't. But,
Yeah.
most people that buy online programs, they're buying them for a specific reason. And I'm sure first of the year comes around and a lot of people want to lose weight. They go
Yeah.
to the gym for a few weeks, hit it hard, and then they get burned out. They get confused by something. I've done it myself plenty of times. We all have. So what this is a program where even if they take a small portion of it and do the stretches to help them with their back pain, to help them with their legs that are sore, whatever it is that can be preventing them from doing exercises or from workouts, we want to help them with that specifically. So it's something we're really excited to learn, and hopefully we'll have the first one up and running in the next month or two.
Nice, and I think that's something even almost everyone will need because, for instance, I skipped the gym for about a month because I wasn't feeling too good. So
Uh-huh.
I think I went the first time on last Saturday,
Okay.
and I didn't stop feeling the pain till yesterday. When we were talking, I had
Gotcha.
to touch my chest.
I'm with you. Been there for sure.
So I think that's one thing a lot of gym goers will really, really, really need at the end of the day.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So I think one other thing I would like to talk about for a lot of business owners, especially a lot of people start businesses, and for you now, you started with digital marketing, then moved up to
Mhm.
sales. So at least you have that skill set. But a lot of people start businesses where they have a skill, but they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to market, and a lot of them
Mhm.
feel they won't be able to learn or won't be able to won't be able to learn how to sell or market their
Yeah.
products and their stock that way. So what would you say to them? What encouragement would you give them? What changes would you say they should make?
So, what I would say, as far as that goes, something that has been really cool for me as I've experienced the last few years of getting heavy into business
Yeah,
is that so many people, well, if not every person that's ever started a business, when they start it, at first they don't realize what business they're actually going to. And what I mean by that is whatever it is, whether it's a cleaning service, a home cleaning service, those people are really good at sales, but they have no idea how to actually clean a home super well, and they don't deliver the service
yeah,
very well, or they can't train others to do the service well. Like there's so many different ways, or maybe they do have great service and great cleaners, but they can't find people. Like they don't know how to do the marketing.
yeah,
People when they start businesses and start these ventures, they learn what they lack as well as what they need to use, and what resources they need to find in order to grow whatever the business is along the way. So as far as those people, like you were saying, if they don't have a lot of experience in sales and marketing, I would say, I mean, really the three things I think that you need to at least start a business is sales, marketing, or a product.
yeah,
And you can outsource whichever one of those you don't have. So, like for example, because I have experience in sales and marketing, obviously.
yeah,
So this business partner that I'm working with, she has, you know, 10 plus years of experience in the health space with helping people with their bodies, understanding how anatomy works, which is something
yeah,
I don't know anything about, of course. I've only been learning the last few months because of this. So, and as well as, I've only been in the healthcare industry for about a year now. So,
yeah,
going back to the gym thing, I was never really into health and fitness at all until I realized how important it is to take care of your body. of course, hiring
Yeah.
doctors and that type of thing, it's probably good to, take care of yourself. So it's been really interesting to see just myself change subconsciously in terms of how I think about health because of that. But so going back to the balance of things, I don't have a product. I couldn't create a very good product with. I wouldn't expect great reviews if I was to make my own program on body movement because I don't know what I'm talking about. But what
Yeah.
I could do is do the sales and marketing and build out a website and all of that fun stuff, which is fun to me, of course, and then help someone else with their product. And I think at the end of the day, if you have a good, solid team, whether that's a team of two or a team of 200, that's what makes things happen. That's what makes your company grow and makes everyone happy and successful.
Okay, so I think that's really good advice. Build a team, outsource what you're not really good at, and focus on what you're really good at, so you grow
Absolutely.
faster. Yeah. Okay, so now for business owners looking to digitalize any part of their business. So, for instance, your recovery program is digitalized, is being delivered digitally. Dr.
Mhm.
Telex is delivered digitally. So, what advice would you give to any business owner who is looking to do something like that for maybe a service that's usually provided physically and they want to provide it digitally?
Hmm. So that's a difficult question just because it would depend on the specifics of what the service or product is that they're delivering. But I would say, honestly, we live in a world where you can almost flip any business or service into a digital product in some way. Um, I don't know if that makes sense, but essentially, what's something that's in person? Like we are saying, the home cleaning business.
Mm-hmm.
What you could do is create a product that trains people on how to deep clean their home, or like tips and tricks, or something like that. Obviously, I'm no expert. You should,
Yeah.
please don't take a look at my home, but don't copy me there. Um, but with that being said, you can almost flip anything into a digital product. So I don't know. Are you a follower of Alex Hormozy? Do you know him?
Oh yeah, yeah. I see a couple of his videos.
Perfect. I was gonna say I've been following him for a few years, and he's been one that's actually really helped me with like getting into sales and getting into business as a whole. But um,
Nice.
I don't know if you know much about his backstory, but he was opening up gyms for people flying out to their gyms, and then as soon as he changed it into selling the education all through digital, on how he started up gyms, he basically taught his entire process to his clients on how he was able to grow a business so quickly and bring
Yeah.
thousands of people in the door. And because he just changed it into that, he saved money on flying out, saved money on the food he ate, because all of that he paid for himself and he was not doing
Yeah.
super well in terms of business. So as soon as he flipped it into a digital product that was super valuable that he could charge high ticket for, you know, fast forward a few years and now he's doing hundreds of million a year
Wow.
with his portfolios. So clearly there's something to the digital space. That's my thoughts at least.
Nice. All right. So for listeners who have listened to this and they find this interesting and they want to continue this conversation or they want to keep tabs on
Mhm.
you, maybe li- get the recovery program when it comes out or maybe
Yeah.
learn more about Dr. Telex or anything, what's the best way they can reach you?
So if people want to reach me directly, I'm trying to grow a Twitter account and I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So I would say, the Twitter is more for direct to consumer, obviously. The LinkedIn is more for business owners or people in regards to Dr. Telex, you could say. So either one of those, if you search me with my difficult name, DJ Vandeventer, you'll be able to find me. Um, but as far as the recovery program that we're creating, the website is fitnessblueprints.fit. So you could look there as well. And as soon as the program is available, it'll be on there ready for you.
All right, so that's fitnessblueprint.fits. And
Yes.
yeah, then the LinkedIn and Twitter. So everything will be in the show notes. Everything will be
Perfect.
on the screen once this episode comes out. So thank you so much
Awesome.
for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to hopefully connect with your audience more and see how your venture goes as well in the future.
Perfect. And for the listeners, if you picked up anything, if you learned anything about building a digital healthcare business, about marketing, about anything we talked about today, please share the episode with anyone else you feel the episode will help. And till next week when we're out with a brand new episode of the Tech Your Business podcast, don't forget to keep taking your business. Bye for now.